Hi students, welcome back. In the last class, we have studied about adsorption. Today, we will discuss the topic types of adsorption. Depending upon the types of force responsible for the attachment of molecules of adsorbate to the surface of adsorbent, the adsorption of gases on solids may be classified into two categories: physical adsorption or physisorption and chemical adsorption or chemisorption. Let us discuss the main characteristics of this type of adsorptions. So, the first one is, in case of physisorption, it is non-specific in nature. This is due to the presence of weak van der Waals force. But in case of chemisorption, it is highly specific in nature because the force responsible is strong. The second one is the type of adsorption. Physical adsorption is reversible in nature. In case of chemical adsorption, it is irreversible in nature. Third point, due to non-specific nature, physical adsorption is usually multi-layered. In case of chemical adsorption, it is strictly monolayered. Then we will discuss about effect of temperature and effect of pressure. In case of physisorption, adsorption decreases with increase in temperature. In case of chemisorption, it first increases and then decreases with the increase in temperature. Effect of pressure in physisorption is adsorption increases with increase in pressure, and in case of chemisorption also, adsorption increases with the increase in. These are the main differences between physisorption and chemisorption. Now we will discuss about adsorption isotherm. The process of adsorption is studied through graph known as adsorption isotherm. Isotherm means the temperature remains constant. The relationship between amount of substance adsorbed at a constant temperature by a fixed amount of an adsorbent and the equilibrium pressure or concentration is usually expressed in terms of a mathematical relation known as adsorption isotherm. That means in adsorption isotherm, we are using two parameters, x by m versus P, where P is pressure. X by m is the amount of substance adsorbed per unit mass. Different types of adsorption isotherms are commonly used to describe the extent of adsorption. So, we have to study only one adsorption isotherm, that is Freundlich adsorption isotherm. In order to describe the relationship between the amount of gas adsorbed per unit mass of adsorbent and the equilibrium pressure at a constant temperature, Freundlich suggested a following adsorption isotherm known as Freundlich adsorption isotherm. According to Freundlich adsorption isotherm, x by m is directly proportional to p raised to 1 by n. In order to change the proportionality sign, we use a constant called k. X by m equal to k p raised to 1 by n. This is known as Freundlich adsorption isotherm, equation for Freundlich adsorption isotherm. A graph can be plotted by using x by m versus p is x-axis and y-axis. In x-axis, we use p, and in y-axis, it is x by m. We get a curved graph. So, this equation can be modified by taking log on both sides. Taking log on both sides, the equation changes to log x by m equal to 1 by n log p plus log k. This equation is very similar to the equation for straight line, that is equation for straight line. Y equal to mx plus c. We can draw a graph between log x by m versus log p. Then we will get a straight line. So from this equation we can calculate slope and intercept. The slope of this equation is 1 by n and intercept is log k. So this we can mark in this graph. Here it is the slope 1 by n and this is the intercept log k. This is Freundlich-Adsorption isotherm equation and graph. There are some limitations of Freundlich-Adsorption isotherm. First one, the equation given by Freundlich is purely empirical. That is, it has no theoretical support. Second one, the curve obtained is straight line only at a low pressure, and at a high pressure they show slight curvature. And the third one, the constant k and n are not constants in true sense because they depend upon the temperature. And the last limitation is it is unable to explain the kinetics of adsorption. These are the main things you have to study in adsorption isotherm and Freundlich-Adsorption isotherm. Next, we will discuss the last topic in this section is applications of adsorption. So what are the main applications of adsorption? So the first and the most important application is it can be used in the removal of coloring matter. So that means the phenomenon of adsorption is largely used in the removal of undesirable coloring matter. And also it is used in softening of hard water. In order to soften the hard water, we use adsorption process in chromatographic techniques, in precipitation titrations, and also in gas mask. That means to protect the devices against poisonous gases, we use adsorption theory, and also in catalysis we use this adsorption. Then in separation of noble gases, in curing diseases, in fruit flotation processes, we use the applications of adsorption. In the next section, we will discuss an interesting topic, catalysis. So what is catalysis or what is catalyst? The rate of a chemical reaction can be increased or decreased by the addition of a suitable substance, which itself is not consumed during the reaction. Such a substance is called a catalyst and the phenomenon is called catalysis. Simply, we can say that catalyst is a substance which can have the ability to increase or decrease the reaction. That means catalyst is the substance which increases or decreases the reaction. The substance is called a catalyst. Substance is catalyst and the phenomenon is called catalysis. By definition, catalysis means the substance which alters the rate of a chemical reaction without being used up in the reaction. It is very important. Without being used up in the reaction is called a catalyst and the phenomenon is termed as catalysis. Depending upon the nature of catalyst, catalysis can be classified as positive catalysis and negative catalysis. First, we will discuss positive catalysis. When a catalyst increases the rate of a reaction, it is termed as positive catalysis. That means it increases the reaction. So, we can discuss one example for positive catalysis, that is oxidation of ammonia is accelerated in the presence of a platinum Here the platinum acts as a positive catalyst. That means 2N2 plus 3H2 in presence of platinum to form 2NH3. Here the platinum acts as a positive catalyst. That means it increases the reaction. Next is negative catalysis. So what is negative catalysis? Positive catalysis increases the reaction. Then what happens in negative catalysis? Which decreases the reaction. So let us consider an example for this. Decomposition of hydrogen peroxide gets retarded when some glycerin is added to it. So here the glycerin is act as a negative catalyst. The reaction is 2H2O. Hydrogen peroxide, the chemical formula of hydrogen peroxide is H2O2, and on decomposing H2O2 to form water and oxygen. Here glycerin acts as a negative catalyst, that is which decreases the rate of a reaction. Next is promoters and poisons. What is promoter and what is poison? Promoter means the substance which increases the activity of a catalyst are called promoter, whereas the substance which reduces the activity of a catalyst are known as poison. So, for example, in Haber's process, that is for the manufacture of ammonia. Haber's process. The chemical equation is N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Here molybdenum acts as a promoter. Molybdenum acts as a promoter and enhances the activity of iron. Here the iron is the catalyst and molybdenum is the promoter. That means molybdenum enhances the activity of a catalyst. So these are the main things in this section. So let's wind up today. Thank you.